Hello and welcome to the Tabletop Games blog Play With Me live stream. Today we are playing K2 by Rebel, which I'm going to do a little rules teach. I'm going to give that a go and see how that goes. We'll see. My name's Oliver. I've got my usual two candidates with me. First of all, there's Tom. Hello, Tom.
Hello there again.
Yeah, it helps if you switch the audio because I can hear the guys, but you guys couldn't. And I've got Jamie with me. Hello, Jamie. How are you?
Hello there, I'm doing well. How are you?
At least give them a chance to speak. I think that's just fair. Right, so there we go. It shows you how nervous I am today doing a rules teach. So the K2 is the second largest mountain in the world after Mount Everest, with a height of 8,611 meters, which apparently is 28,251 feet above sea level. It is also considered one of the most difficult 8,000ers. K2 has never been conquered in winter. Now your team of climbers stands in the shadow of the mountain, ready to climb to the peak for glory and fame. You know well what awaits you. Constantly changing weather, a steep, treacherous trail, and a lack of oxygen will be your deadly enemies in this dangerous expedition. You will need to carefully plan every step, use the clear days well, and compete with other teams ready to snatch the glory from you. So there we are. That sets the scene, I hope. And what I'll do, I'm actually going to switch to the game screen so people can see what we've got in front of us. So Tom and Jamie, I think you probably can see it as well. I've set a game up where we take turns, so it's not a real-time game, although we're going to play it as real-time, but given it's going to take a little while to explain things, I didn't want to rush people. So basically we've got like 2 days to take our turns, which obviously we won't do. So in front of you, maybe a quick rundown. On the left-hand side, obviously, you've got the mountain with a number of paths, and something to point out there. Obviously, the circle bits is where you can place people, and there's very sort of fine lines connecting them. So they're sometimes a bit hard to see. Just keep an eye out. So you can't necessarily go from anywhere to anywhere. You have to follow those lines that connect them. So check out, keep an eye on that. And then each of you should have a hand of 6 cards, which I'll explain later. Now, overall, the game is played over 18 turns or 18 days. It's an 18-day expedition. And at the top of the screen, you see 6 of those days with a black marker. So there's like, I don't know, blue circles with different weathers in there. I think the first one is like a snowy day and another snowy day. Then we've got some sunshine and so on. So that represents the first 6 days. And then next to that, we have some risk tokens. Again, we'll come to that later. So we're going to play over 18 days, and we're trying to get up this mountain to make points. And obviously the higher you get, the more points you get. And what's quite nice in this game, it's one of those games where it doesn't matter how far high you end up on the mountain at the end of the game, but how far you got during the game. So if you reach the peak, you get so many points, and then if your climber goes down again, they don't lose points. They basically keep the maximum points they've reached. The only problem is if that climber then dies for whatever reason, those points that climber has gained goes back down to, I think it's a minimum of 1, or is it 0? I'm not quite sure.
It's only 1.
Is it 1? Yeah. So you basically might have gained, I don't know what the maximum is it 10 points or something?
Goes back, 10 points for the top of the mountain.
Yeah, so you get 1 point. So, getting to the top is great, and climbing down, as I say, doesn't lose you anything as long as you do not die. I think that's one thing to remember. So what happens then in these 18 turns? So first of all, each of us have to select 3 of the cards from our hands of 6. And we all have the same hand of, is it 18 cards? Yeah, 18 cards.
Yeah, we've all got the same deck, yeah.
And they're divided into 2 types. We've got green movement cards, or movement and rope cards. These are numbered 1 to 3, and the rope cards are actually split into upwards movement and downwards movement. You might not have any of those in your hand. So just to explain the rope cards, basically the upward movement is usually slower than the downward movement. But if you want to use those cards later to climb back down, they might be quite useful to get off the treacherous peak further to a sort of more clement area. And then the blue cards are acclimatization cards, and they go from 0 to 3. Actually, if you guys scroll down your window, I think there's some strategy tips there which gives you the breakdown of the cards if you wanted to know what they are. So as I said, we're going to choose 3 of those cards, each of us basically at the same time, and when everyone's ready we reveal them, and then we can assign them to between the two climbers we've got. So we've got two different climbers. One is called Smooth, and I think the number one is it Knobbly or something?
Squiggly. I think I call it Knobbly.
Yeah. So we each got two climbers. They basically can move independently. Them being together doesn't necessarily give them a bonus, I don't think. Is that right, Jamie?
Yes, there's no bonus.
No. So you can basically try and get one to the top and keep the other one further down, or however you want to do it. There's no benefit from that. And then you assign your cards. And basically, just to explain sort of the action part of it, so that the climber movement is based on whatever green cards you've played. So every step up from where we are, for example, at the moment we're on this sort of grey area where the tents are, stepping onto the first circle area is one movement point. So anything that has no sort of yellowy number in it, bless you, is basically just one movement point. And then later when they have numbers in them, the sort of top right, the sort of yellow numbers, these are then movements that are a bit harder. So you can see sort of in the sort of 6,000 feet area, there's two spaces that have a 2 cost off there. So say if you wanted to get up to there, you could potentially play 3 and a 2 movement card, the green cards, to move 3 steps in, the first 3 up there, and then even get onto the number 2, not number 2, but the space with a 2, yellow 2 in there. That is great, isn't it? There's no additional points for that. So it's either 1 point if there's nothing in it, or whatever the yellow number is. Then also each of these circles have either a blue number or a red number in there. And the blue number is to do with the acclimatization, if I can get the word out. So for every climber, at the moment we are basically, if you can see next to our characters, there's a blue 1 that gives us 1 blue acclimatization point. And similar some of the other spaces. And as you can see, as you climb up the mountain, it obviously goes into red numbers. That means it removes that number of points from us. And that's basically like our life. And you can see on the right-hand side of the screen for each of us, for the Smooth and the Knobbly, Squiggly climber, how much acclimatization they have. And basically what happens at the end of turn, you either get some added to it, depending on the blue cards you've played or the space you're in, or you get points deducted. And basically what happens is you want to make sure that that number next to your climber stays above 0. I think if it is exactly 0, you're still all right. I can't remember, Jamie.
No, if it ever drops to 0, your climber has died.
Yeah, so you wanted 1 or above. So as I say, you can play blue cards to help that, and again, you can decide which blue cards you assign to which climber, or you can stay in an area where there is a blue number in there to help you, maintain that. And as I say, later on in the game, you might want to climb up and then back down again to go into an area where you don't lose as many health points as higher up in the mountain. I think that is sort of the sort of rough overview of that. Does that so far make sense, Tom?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so green is movement.
Once it goes into motion, I'm sure it will make a lot more sense.
So always keep an eye on the life points or acclimatization points next to your climbers, in the top right of the screen and where you are. There's one extra way of getting life points, basically, and that's playing a tent. So to place a tent, if I can find it in the rules, pitching a tent. So each climber has their own tent, and it can't be shared between climbers. So you can't, basically, the Smooth climber can't pitch a tent and then the Knobbly climber goes into their tent. So the Smooth climber has... Is that right?
Yes, they can.
Yes, they can. Oh, okay.
They can. You can't, if I pitch a tent and I'm playing as the red team, I can't pitch a tent and then you can't share it.
Okay, so obviously teams don't share it between other teams, but within the team, obviously you can. And that tent basically gives you an additional point of acclimatization. So obviously if you pitch it quite high up where you're losing 2 life points, basically, if you pitch a tent there, then you would be only losing 1 point. So basically it's like a blue 1 space on top of whatever that space already adds or takes away. Just remember there's one tent per climber. So if the smooth climbers pitch their tent, they can't then pitch the second tent high up in the mountain, for example. Only the squiggly climber can then pitch their tent as well. So each one of them carries a tent with them, basically, if you think about it that way. And then the only other thing is, wondering, it would be just make sense always to just play the highest movement and keep going and keep going. There's one issue with that. So when we've all chosen our 3 cards and they are revealed, whoever's got the highest upwards movement. So with the rope cards, I say there's an upwards and a downwards movement. We ignore the downwards movement. It's just the upward movement. Whoever's got the highest number will have to take one of those risk tokens. And as I said earlier, they're in the top, on the top of the screen next to the sort of weather area. So whoever's got the highest number needs to take one of them. Obviously, chances are you will take the lowest one. If there's a tie, I don't think anyone has to take any. Is that right, Jamie?
That's right.
Yeah. And that risk token is basically another losing life, and you can assign who that goes to potentially, how you deal with that. So that explains the risk token. So obviously you do sometimes want to move ahead, but just be aware. At the moment, the risk tokens are 1, 2, and 2, and I think there's zeros in there as well, potentially. So you might want to choose the right time when you push ahead if the risk is lower. Speaking of risk then as well, if we look at the weather, if you move your cursor over the first weather circle that has a black dot above it, you see that it currently affects anything above 8,000 feet. So you can see on the mountain there's 3 lines. There's 6,000, 7,000, and 8,000. Obviously, if you're below the line, then you're below that number. If you're above the line, you're above that number. So at the moment, anyone who's above 8,000 feet gets move penalty of 0. So movement isn't effective, but the life points, the acclimatization penalty is -2. So if you're above 8,000 points, you lose whatever's on the space and an additional 2 points on top of that. So keep an eye on the weather as well, from the rounds ahead. And I think the only last thing I haven't mentioned is how you actually pitch a tent. So when you decide to pitch a tent, you have to have enough movement points left over. If I just dig that out, where is the pitching the tent? Unless Jamie knows off the top of the head.
Yes, sorry, I do.
Yeah, do you want to go?
Pitching a tent costs the same amount of movement points as the space you're in. So, for example, if you wanted to pitch it, at the space next to base camp, it would cost you 1 point.
Yeah, because every space is 1 point minimum.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you wanted to pitch it, just below the 8,000 mark, on the left-hand side, it would cost 2 points to pitch a tent. On the right-hand side, it would cost 3 points to pitch a tent.
Yeah. Okay. And then once it turns over, we basically discard those 3 cards we've chosen. We get 3 new cards and we carry on. So basically what happens, rounds 1 to 6, we play our 18 cards. And then in the 7th round, we get all 18 cards back again. And then rounds 7 to 12, we play those cards. And then in the 13th round, we get those 18 cards back again. So there's a recycle every 6 rounds, basically, effectively. Or every 7 rounds, actually. So 6 rounds, you use those cards because obviously you play 3 cards and you got 18 in total. And I think the only last thing is to decide how much points things are worth. So you can see tiny flags in each circle, but obviously if you hover over the circle, it actually tells you how many points that circle gets. And as I said, as long as you reach up to there, you get those points. And if you drop down the mountain again, you don't lose those points. You only lose them if you die. And I think that is sort of the explanation. Have I missed anything, Jamie?
Off the top of my head, no.
I think that's more or less it. Tom, have you got any questions at the moment?
Regards to acclimatization,
Yeah.
your chaps start with 1.
Yeah.
And from skim reading the rules, you deduct the ones on the mountain, basically, in the acclimatization check stage.
Yeah, so the red ones get deducted at that point. So either if you're on a blue space with a blue number, your number goes up. If you're on a red space, it goes down.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah,
and remember,
I thought the blue ones were the deductions, and I was thinking, do you have to pitch a tent in the first round?
No.
No,
only high up the mountain.
Like,
and remember, you can
step
obviously
off the mountain and
you can undo that as well. So if you have like a blue 3 in your hand and you up the mountain, you might want to play that blue 3 onto that climber that's high up on the mountain. So you get 3, and then you might lose 2 because you're on the red 2 there. So you're still gaining 1 in total. So if you're high up in the mountain, obviously those blue cards will become more important, and pitching tents will become more
absolutely.
important. Yeah,
it's worth also pointing out that I can't remember exactly what the limit is, but your climbers can have a maximum acclimatization level of something like 6 or 7, and that's the top level. You can play cards that will put your acclimatization over that. But
it's 6.
After acclimatization checks, if there's anything above, I think it's 6 or 7. I'm going to say 7.
It's
just
6.
Off the top of my head.
It's 6.
6. Thank you. Yeah. Anything over that, it'll just revert back down to 6.
Yeah. That's
so
true.
if you're at 5, you're at the top of the mountain, and it's the weather where it's 8,000 plus feet is 2 extra acclimatization. You're like, that's gonna be very bad. I'll put them up to something stupid.
Yeah.
And then you're left with like 8. You'll go back down to 6.
Yeah, so you might already have 6, and you play a blue card with 3, and another blue card with 3, so technically you're up to 12 then. Then you lose 2 because you're high up in the mountains, so you then end up with 10 acclimatization points. Once it's done all that, if you're then left with 10, it then just takes you back down to 6. You always only have a maximum of 6, but as I was doing the calculation, you can go above 6 to but it's it's obviously not worth it necessarily. And we've got Richard in the chat as well. Hello, Richard. And Srisby. I don't know how to pronounce his name. So we've got 2 viewers now, so pressure's on. So I don't know how good the rules teacher is, whether you can play along. Does it all make sense?
I think so, yeah.
So it looks like I go first, which is very kind. I will choose we all choose our 3 cards at the same time anyway, so you can do that now. There's no turn order in that sense. Actually, no turn order is there. So if you look on the right hand side, Jamie is actually the first player. So we all choose our cards at the same time. Then Jamie plays his first. Then Tom, you will do yours, and then I play mine. And then that first player token will move on to Tom. We choose our cards at the same time, but then Tom will go and play first. And I think the other thing I haven't mentioned, so if you look on the map of the mountain, you'll see in a 3-player game, so there's numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5, how many climbers can be in each of those circles. So at the bottom of the mountain, up to 6,000 feet, there can be 3 climbers in each circular space, and that includes your own. So if I have 2 in one circle and Jamie has 1 more, you can't then move into that circle. That limit is reached in the 3-player game. And as we go up the mountain, there's only space for 2 climbers, and then at the very top there's only room for 1 climber. So you can actually try and block people off, because obviously there's certain paths. There's another strategy there, but that's really, I think, the last bit. Okay. Right. Choose your cards. You have done. Okay. And then it's Jamie's turn.
Okay. So, Oliver, you've taken the risk token.
Yeah. So I've bid the most.
I'm going to play 2 of these cards on Squiggly. So he's going to move up to there. And then this last one, going to play on Smooth.
Jamie had a rope card.
That's my turn.
And now it's Tom's go. So I hope the user interface makes sense, Tom. So you basically select 1 or more cards, and then you choose who you want to assign them to, basically. And you can do it 1 at a time if you wanted to, I believe.
I see, yes.
Until you've basically played all. And remember, if you leave some movement points over, if you wanted to pitch a tent, obviously at the moment, probably not worth it. I don't know. Don't know what the best strategy is in this game. Then just make sure you have that movement left over to pitch your tent.
Definitely one of the strategies is not to pitch a tent at the very beginning.
I can't quite see Tom's cards. So let me see if I can make that a bit more visible. Is that any better? Hang on. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. Okay.
Right. Okay, sorry, I'm just muddling my way through the user interface. That's,
There you go, Tom's going around that way. And now it's my turn.
yeah, it wasn't entirely intentional, but I hadn't thought about the fact that you obviously have to assign
so I'm
cards,
play
so
a
you
3
can't
movement card
split,
onto
so
my
you have to
smooth
split stuff
player.
in an appropriate
So
way.
I can now select
Oh wow!
as far as I wanted to go there. And then I've got 4 movement left. Actually, I'm going to use the other 2 to move my smooth player onto that space there, and then the last 2 on Squiggly to join Jamie in that space. And then I now need to assign my risk token of 1 to... Oh. Does that mean one of them actually dies?
No, because remember, it'll...
I think so.
Really?
Are
you able to
let's see
go...
what happens.
There you go, you're fine.
Yeah, you should gain 1 acclimatization.
I know, because they gain
Yes.
1 acclimatization, so I'm okay. So I gained 1 and lost 1. So my smooth climber now is on 1 life point, basically.
Just to say
so
that...
gained 1 for being on that space. The risk token removed 1. So I'm back on 1. So that's something to bear in mind. If you take a risk token of 2, you should probably still be alright, but late in the game might be an issue.
You don't have to suffer acclimatization penalties.
Work for you so far?
You don't have to suffer acclimatization penalties for risk tokens. You can choose to
Jamie,
get
are you
rid
still
of
there? I don't know
movement.
whether it's just me.
Hello?
Can you hear us, Ollie?
Oh, I can hear you now. Yeah, sorry. This is my headphones again.
Ah, okay.
Sorry.
So I was just saying you don't have to suffer acclimatization penalties with risk tokens. You can choose to instead to burn your movement cards.
Oh, okay.
So I think when you select them, it'll say at the top regarding risk tokens.
Right, so you can choose whether you want to apply a risk token to that movement and then just do less
Yes.
movement, basically. Yeah, I think it probably did, and I just didn't look at that. Okay, that would have been another very quick game.
It's all right. We're still in the low areas of the mountain. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So I have to now choose my next movement, and I think I'll not move my next cards because everyone else is waiting for me. Now it's Tom's go. Okay. So I just had to ban someone from the stream because we were just getting advertising for some reason. Very interesting. Oh. And I'm just, yeah, there we go. We're back again. Right, and it's my turn. What I'm actually going to do, I'm going to remove those headphones because I think they're going to play up more than they're going to help me. Right, so I'm going to apply 2 acclimatization to smooth, and I'm going to apply 2 movement to squiggle. Yeah, I'm going to go around that way. There we go. And Jamie had to take the risk token of 0. Hello, Sanaya. The game is called K2 by Rebel. Do we play other games in Board Game Arena? Yes, we probably do. Obviously, you can have a look. I've not used Board Game Arena a lot. I'm more on Yokata. But yeah, if you find us, if you find me on Twitter, drop me a message there and we'll see if we can sort something out. It's just Tabletop Games Blur for Tabletop Games blog, or you can Google it. You should find it.
I'm be honest, I'm really worried about the middle, the 5th day, which is anything over 6,000 is 2 extra acclimatization.
Yeah. I just seen it. Yeah, that's the other thing. I haven't kept an eye actually on the weather ahead. So, sorry, as I was just answering the chat, I will now choose my cards. I think I'm way behind there. Yeah, how do you pronounce your name? Sania Shrimp? What? Sorry if I get that wrong. Yeah, but if you find me on Yakata, as I say, I play quite a few games. So it's yucata.de if anyone wants to have a look there. I play asynchronous games there a lot. Sanai. Oh god, I'm probably butchering it really terribly. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. Appreciate you being here. Now I have to try and move and acclimatize. So I'm going to worry about my movement first. I'm going to move squiggly around there, and then I'm going to help acclimatize Smooth some more. So Smooth is now at 6.
Oofed.
So I think he might make a push at some point soon. Where are you from, Sanea, then? Yeah, choosing names is not easy. People always have problems with their last name. So Oliver will do. From France. Oh, Sanae? No, I'm still getting that terribly wrong. My French isn't that good either. So the guys probably can't see the chat. Right. I need to keep an eye on the game, though, to make sure I'm not taking too long in this. Yeah, what's quite nice about this game is that you can undo things. So you can basically play cards on one of your climbers and see where it would take them, and then change your mind if it isn't quite what you thought. Yeah, it's lunchtime in France. Yeah, I'm from Germany originally, so I know there's sort of 1 hour time difference. And we've got half an hour to go till 12 o'clock here in the UK. Alright, so time to choose some more cards. Now, is there enough to move up? There we go. And you can see that weather has moved up on the top track, so we now see, the next 5, including today, the 6th. So, Tom, is it sort of making sense now?
I think so, yeah.
So it's...
I think the only confusing bit, I think I undid some of my card moves last turn, but
yeah.
I think the acclimatization card seemed to have stayed with someone.
Okay.
So, yeah, I suspect Squiggly got it, and I didn't realize because I haven't been keeping too much of a close count. But yeah, no, it seems fairly simple.
Yeah, the user face is a bit confusing, but once you realize it, so you can undo movement, but as you say, you can't undo acclimatization by the looks of it. But yeah, I've done that before. I've even moved a person up and down again when I actually meant to just move them up because it was just clicking, and I thought, what is it doing? Just got a question here. First one, getting to the top wins the game? No. So if you ever look on the map, and they can't quite see it, but if I show people in the stream, so each flag on these circles gives you different points. If I have over this one, so this one gives you 3 points, and the higher up you get, the more points you get. So that was 5 points, and that one is 10 points. And basically what happens, the higher the climber gets, the more points they get. And then if they go down again, they don't lose those points. They stay there, but they could potentially die if they don't have enough of these life points on the right-hand side available. So you do have to be careful. So if you look on the right-hand side, I've got 1 point per climber, Jamie as well, but Tom has now climbed up to 3 points with a squiggly climber over here. So he's now got 4 points. So if that squiggly climber climbed down again, they would keep the 3 points. And they've got a tent there as well. But if they die, then they lose everything. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. So on the right-hand side, each climber basically has sort of life points that he can increase by playing these blue cards or using the blue points on the circles. And the red ones up here move that number down. And if that reaches 0 for one of the climbers, they're dead. All right, Tom, I think you still need to play the 0 card.
Yeah, sorry, it won't let me at the moment. It's telling me I need to pitch a tent or subtract a risk, which I can't do either of because I've already pitched a tent and I haven't got enough move to subtract a risk, so I don't know how to get past this point in the menu at the moment.
It might be, if you don't have any movement points left, you might have to start getting rid of acclimatization points on Squiggly because they're the only one that moved this turn.
Oh, is it only the one who moved? Okay, so you probably have to.
So you can't move and then dump your acclimatization penalties on the guy that didn't move.
Okay.
So I guess, does it let you play that card on someone and then you can do the risk, or does it force you to decide the risk now?
Oh no, sorry. It just has to. You have to end your turn with that particular character, and then it will give you the option to do other stuff.
Oh, thanks for letting me know about the chat and the live stream. I might have to give that a quick change. Where are we? So we want the background to be a bit bigger. I'm going to change that. I don't know whether that's any better. We'll find out in a minute. Right, if you put something in the chat, maybe you can see it better now. Yeah, perfect. Thanks very much for helping with that. I didn't notice that. Yeah, so the cards you play, you get 18 cards at the beginning. So a mix of green and blue cards, and every turn you play 3. So basically every 6 rounds you use all 18 cards, and then you get all 18 cards back again, and you play them again. And so the whole game goes over 18 rounds. Right, sorry, it's my turn. So
yes,
I was going to see if I can get Smoothie up there. I'm going to play all cards on my Smooth guy up there. So they got an acclimatization of, I think it was 3, and a movement of 3 to go all the way up there. So even though the weather is not looking good, they'll hopefully be alright. Got quite a lot of points there, and they can also pitch a tent. So what I'm thinking of doing is playing that, and then playing that, and then maybe playing this one. Okay. So I've chosen my cards this time. Are we playing often live? I've been streaming every Monday at 11 o'clock UK time, so that's, as I say, 12 o'clock in Europe. I will be doing 2 more streams, so next Monday and the Monday after. And then after that, I don't think I'll be able to, because I need to go back to work. Currently working only 4 days a week because of the situation in the world. So I've been able to doing these streams on a Monday, which is great fun. If you look on my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/tabletopgamesblog. You'll see all the streams that I've done in the past on there as well. So I always put them up a couple of days or so after the live stream so that they're there forever, because Twitch doesn't keep them forever, unfortunately. Nice to have someone in the chat to talk to. Richard has disappeared now. Back to work, I guess. So my plan was to play these 2 cards on smooth, which means I can move there, and I can now pitch a tent there as well, a bit like Tom has done.
Popular spot.
Yeah. And then I'm going to use the so now I have to click end my turn, which is not the whole turn, but that's just for smooth. And then I'm going to play this other card on squiggly to get squiggly higher up into the mountains as well. So I think health-wise we're looking alright despite this horrible weather coming on. And then I have to end my turn again. So now we're waiting for Jamie to do his actions.
Quickly is up with you. Not able to get into the tent.
And then as you can see, now we're basically on the last 3 cards, so we have to play those 3 cards now. So if you've been counting or checking the rounds, you probably would have known that. I didn't realize, but there we go. So these are the last 3 cards. So after this round, we are going to get all 18 cards back again. So what are my options now? So I'm going to just quickly check the weather. It's all looking fine. It's looking fine tomorrow. And then the day after, if you're between 7,000 and 8,000, you're going to lose 1 life point. So what can I do with this? Not a lot by the looks of it, but I can move squiggly up to there. And then that's me done. And Jamie's got the 2 risk token.
Ugh, I don't like that at all.
Unlucky you got all the high movement left.
I know. I was saving it. I was like, yeah, I'll be good. And then I looked at what we had, and I was like, oh,
no,
nothing but 2 risk tokens. Oh dear.
But I think that's where the game gets very interesting. That people will start getting used to what cards there are and work out how many rounds they're in, and play it a lot more strategically that way. To me, it's currently more about, okay, where can I move to, and do I need basically life points, acclimatization points? It's only technically my 2nd game. I'm playing a 3rd one at the moment on Board Game Arena. But yeah, I think it's going to be quite fun to play this. So anyone else in the chat, have you played K2 before? Or does it remind you of any other games you've played, maybe? Something similar? Always nice to hear what people know, what games they like. Which game was my first game, whatever? Gosh, very, very first game going back to my childhood was probably Monopoly. But more recently, I think, I've been playing quite a few games. Tom actually was probably the person who got me into sort of modern board games when that sort of started again for me. I think
I think it might have probably been Settlers of Catan, I think, is what we started on originally. It was either that or Lords of Waterdeep.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, didn't we before play in the pub and you brought something like Citadels? I think that was probably more one of the first ones we played, potentially.
No, Citadels was one of the later ones I bought. I'm just trying to think, because obviously I I bought a lot, got into a lot of board games, and another local friend who has a huge collection. And I'm pretty sure Settlers was the one we used to play in his shop he used to run.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the first game I bought, like, that I actually owned myself, so I'd imagine
quite possible. It's just
that's what I would have bought.
I just remember.
But then, like you say, we did play stuff in the pub, didn't we?
Yeah. The way I remember is that we used to play, used to just meet in the pub for a drink, and then you brought a game along, and then eventually we went around to your place, and then we played something like Small World or Laws of Waterdeep, and then really got hooked from there. And now I try and review games badly.
My first game was King of Tokyo. Well, in the modern board game setting.
What was your very first game, though? Monopoly as well, or?
Oh, I've absolutely no idea. Maybe.
Mine,
Yeah,
I guess as a
lot
child,
of board games bought by my parents. Not a lot, but board games bought by my parents for me and my brother. So I know there was definitely a couple of versions of Monopoly that we had, and some other ones. But yeah, my first one was King of Tokyo.
I was going to say, I think one of the early games are probably the sort of roll and move games with the colored dice. I think that's probably my very first game.
Nice.
Because obviously coming from Germany, board games were, or still are, a big thing, and card games as well. So, I used to play Skat and Doppelkopf and things like that when I was a bit older, more like in teenage years. But yeah, Monopoly, and we even played Winnetou, which is like a roll and move game about sort of the adventures of a fictional character based in the Wild West by a German author who never went to the Wild West himself, but wrote like he had. So, cowboys, Indians, that sort of traditional trope. Right, so I was going to push forward, I think. Now people have moved, though. I am going to see... Oh, no. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. Move up there. Wasn't quite my plan, but it'll do. Oh, and Jamie's pitched a tent right at the top. Nice.
Oh, right at the top.
Well, near enough.
It's a bad habit, but I realize it's quite a good strategy just to pitch a tent there because it's quite cheap, like compared to the other side of the mountain.
Yeah.
Where you can at least get rid of the 1 point penalty.
Also, one thing to remember now is maybe if you have rope cards or cards with a down movement, maybe hang on to them if you're high up on the mountain, because then it allows you to, reach the top and then climb down again quite quickly. That's what I'm thinking. I'm nowhere near the top, but I'm thinking if I was up there, I would probably keep those potentially, or maybe use them now, depending on what other cards I've got. But yeah, keep an eye on your life points here, acclimatization points. Oh, I got the risk token. Pushing too hard there. Which kind of board games do I like? Well, anything really. Depends on who I'm playing with. I think we've been playing sort of Yuri games quite a bit, strategy games, a couple of games, I don't know. It depends. Play them with my wife sometimes. But yeah, a wide range. I mean, things like Wingspan are quite popular and big hit in my family. But then we've been playing like Cypher Games Group. Just trying to think what other games. We've rediscovered Small World recently on Steam. Because obviously we're now still trying to keep the games group going once a Tuesday evening. But we can't meet in person. So we're doing it online instead. Right, my go. Right, let's push. Let's push. So I think that's what I want to do. There we go. And now we want a risk token. We're going to give that to Smooth. Oh, I can't. Okay. Why don't you give me the option then? Of course I played on Squiggy.
Yeah, that's a bit silly. But
it's funny. It's like, you can't play on this one, but I give you the option to play it on this one. No. You played Small World. Sanae. No, sorry. Still can't pronounce it. I'm going to call you Shrimp. I think it might be easier for me. Yeah, Small World is quite good fun. It's pretty straightforward. Easy to learn. So you can play it on Steam, Small World, if you want to have a look there. With people online as well, it's quite good fun. Right, risk token of 0, that was lucky. I didn't even look at that. I'm just trying to push past all these climbers. Go to the top without dying. And this is where all goes horribly wrong. Because I think I'm going to die now, if I've done my maths correctly. That wasn't a good choice. Because the weather as well. You say, yeah. So he's dead. So he gets 1 point. It's alright. I will eventually learn. It's a learning experience. But at least that means I can give the life points to the other climber now.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
This game sort of reminds me of Deep Sea Adventure.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, just go a bit more, and then obviously you can't make it back and you die. It really fools you. Or fools me anyway. It doesn't fool you guys clearly. Yeah, Shrimp, have a look on Steam. There was a Humble Bundle a while ago with quite a few games, which was really good. So always keep an eye out. There are sometimes offers on these games. And if you're happy to play with other people, then yes, Steam is quite a good place for those sort of games. And I say Yokata is the other one that is very popular, and there are always players around really for most games. So point-wise, Jamie and Tom are neck to neck on, yeah, and I'm on 5 points. A little bit behind. It doesn't help if you kill your climbers, clearly.
Yeah, but I remember you came into the the practice game that you did last week going, right, I want to know how long it is before one of my guys dies.
Yeah.
There's glee in your voice.
I should have learned, is that what you're saying?
No, not at all.
Well, I should
Just
have
saying
learned.
it's a really interesting frame of mind to start the game in.
Just push. I guess it'll probably take me at least another 2 or 3 games before I get the hang of this. And then it starts becoming more strategic. So we got, I was trying to work out, so does that mean we've got how many more rounds? Does it tell you which round we're in?
No. But we've been through a hand of cards, and we've been through probably one set of 3. So this is probably round 13 or 13. Yeah, 13 of 18.
Okay.
I would assume.
So yeah, up the top there, a number of weather tiles left, including this one, are 2. So that's 6, 7, 8. So I reckon we probably have got 9 rounds left to go.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I think that's the only way to tell.
What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh yeah.
So now it's for me to try and get points, 10 points for this player, this climber, at the very least. Weather's looking good in a few rounds though. So I'm going to play all of these obviously on the only one that's left, which is move. Is that right? Yeah. And I can move to there.
Oh no!
Was that? Good
Yeah.
fat hand.
Oh, Tom.
I hadn't accounted for the weather.
Oh, you've died as well. That's right, as I say.
Yeah.
I think that's normal. There's so much you have to sort of keep an eye on.
I'm gonna feel really bad if I'm the only one that's left with these 2 climbers left.
Bye, Shrimp. See you later. Yes. Well, we'll see. We could potentially play another game after this if you guys want to. I just have to see what actually I need. I probably want to play these cards. So Tom and I are on 6 points. Jamie on 10. Just need to block Jamie at the top there now. Block him in. But it does make it easier if you only have 1 climber left.
I suppose, yeah, you can only play cards on 1 person, can't you?
Yeah.
So it makes life simpler.
So just 1 health meter to Rimba, 1, yeah. So there's going to be...
I like the little conga line of guys just snaking up the mountain there.
Mm.
Nope, not on squiggly, on smooth. This is going to be a fight for 2nd place and blocking Jamie.
Right.
See if we can kill his climber up there.
Don't kill my climber.
This game has turned dark very quickly.
Yeah, Uh-oh.
Right. Well, I've only got those cards to play, so that gives me quite a lot of movement. And maybe even enough, if I'm thinking. Do I still have a tent? Yeah, pitch a tent there. Oh no, that one has already pitched a tent. Okay. Well, there's nothing for it. Gonna take the risk off, even though it's 0. Makes no difference, and end my turn. So Smooth has already pitched his tent earlier. Where Squiggly is just dead. So there are some expansions to K2 as well that change it up a bit, and you can play it on different weather sides as well. So I think this is like the sort of summer side.
This is the summer side using summer weather tiles.
Yeah. So you can really mix it up and change it and make it harder. I'll say some of the expansions, and I think they allow you to even just change tracks, or maybe
Yes, I've got the...
Maybe it's like another version of K2 that allows you to do that.
I've got one of the expansions. I'm gonna pronounce it very badly. I'm gonna guess it's Lhotsa. But it's another mountain range. Well, there's 2 other mountain ranges, one on either side. One is more of a set of mountain ranges that you can kind of traverse.
Right.
And there's also an ability that allows you to make your own paths following certain rules, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense, yeah.
Oh dear.
So yeah, if you like this sort of game, there's lots more out there. Oh, is that the round count on the top left? Oh no, number of cards in the deck. That's different.
I didn't even see that.
All right. So Jamie is sending up his... Oh no, pitching a tent makes sense. The 2nd climber. And trying to get the other one down the mountain.
I can't get him... Oh, I can get him down, thankfully.
So I'm now making a push for the summit. keep clicking and squiggly when it's smooth. There you are.
Oh, well done.
But then I'm going to die, so... Can I undo this? No, I can't undo this. Oh, that was stupid.
Oh, no!
Oh well, I'm going to watch you guys finish this game then. Makes it easier now. So yeah, as I say, I probably need another 2-3 games before I don't kill all my climbers. Right, Tom, go on. Now
Just
you can catch up with
merciless,
Jamie.
just sending your guys in for glory in Armageddon.
Yeah, he's still up there. You'll see him on the way up. Yeah, so risk tokens and weather and all that. So much to think about. But it was fun while it lasted. Yeah, as I said earlier, if you guys watch this live, then great, but it is also going to be available on the YouTube channel afterwards. And there's some other streams that we did previously. So go to youtube.com/tabletopgamesblog and you should find everything on there. Or check out the web address that's on screen, tabletopgamesblog.com. There's links to everything there as well. As I said, if you want to play a game against me on Yakata, find me. You got my name on screen there. That's the same name I use on Yakata as well. I normally play Mystic Vale, Terra Mystica, Hanging Gardens, Jaipur. But I'm happy to learn some new games as well, if you're happy to teach them. Hi, Tom. Climbers are up there. Tom's life is still doing well. 6. Jamie.
The thing is, Tom, if you can just keep your guy there, eventually I'm going to run out of cards, and that guy's going to die.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the other strategy. As long as you can stay there yourself, you could potentially kill the 10-pointer. But I guess that's part of the strategy of this game, isn't it? That you do intentionally block people from coming back down again. I like how the game chooses cards for me, even though I can't play them.
Oh my.
So I don't know whether Tom can pitch a tent or whether you've already pitched a tent with that climber.
No, not yet.
There you go. That's what a mountain does to you. Really cutthroat. It's just going to settle in now and run down your clock. The only problem is then Jamie can do it the other way around afterwards, probably.
There's not really much I can do for my guy at the top.
No.
Just keep him going and hope he survives.
Feed him those chocolate bars.
Exactly.
I assume you can't. Can you not move back down through other players' spaces? I guess.
No, so there's a limit. If you see on the right-hand side of each section, it tells you in a 3-player game, the very top section, there's only 1 player per that circle.
Yeah.
So you can't move past your own climber, so you can block yourself potentially as well. And I guess that's one strategy as well, that people climb both climbers together to block the route. So I reckon there's lots to discover in this game if you play it a bit more. Oh, it's not looking good for Jamie.
Looking very bad for me.
1 health. Pushed up.
Come on. Come on.
One point. So, is this now the last round, then the next round?
Yes.
But there's bad weather coming.
Only for between 6,000 and 7,000.
Oh, is it? I didn't even look.
That's small. It's the if you can look,
yeah.
the little white bar.
Yeah.
Next to it shows you like what
Which
strata
area?
of the mountain is in trouble.
Okay. I can see when you hover over, but I didn't notice that little. That makes sense. So that's the zone it
The
indicates.
irony being that we're all safe at the very peak, but
well, sometimes the weather's worse further
halfway down
down,
the
isn't it?
mountains in a dangerous position.
Oh,
What happened there?
So you can go down through people's squares.
I thought you couldn't, even with the combined one.
Oh, you can go past people, but you just can't land on that space. Is that what it is? Okay.
I thought it was you couldn't land on it, like go through it, but
yeah.
Shows how much I know about the game.
There we go. That was a valiant effort. So Jamie 16 points, Tom 11, and we don't. I'm just a very good teacher. Is what I'm saying. So yeah, that was good fun. Enjoyed that. Did you want to play another one? So 12 o'clock now.
I'll leave it up to you guys. I'm quite happy to if everyone wants to. But...
Yeah, I'm happy to, Jamie.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to do another one.
So, I think I can propose a rematch by the looks of it. Let's see what happens. It's reloading. So I don't know whether you guys get an invitation or what happens.
Yeah, I think so.
There we go.
Okay, I think I can start the game. Oh, no. I think I've clicked too quickly.
Oh,
I'm spectating, I think, maybe.
Okay, let me quit that game. No, what happens now? James still in the game. I think you can probably...
You might have to quit the game.
Yeah, I think... Okay, so... Oh, I'm getting a new trophy. Lovely, thank you. So, if I want to play this game now... Turn-based, best friends, you're still on there. Play now. Right, I think you've got some standard invitations now. I'm going to wait for you to join. Yeah, they're both there. Go to game. That was interesting. I thought it would force you to wait. And there we go. So, Tom, you now red. Well, on my screen anyway. I don't know how it's different.
Yeah.
And then Tom's also the first player once we've chosen our cards. So let's see if I can kill myself very quickly again.
Yeah. If I had any, if I was any kind of guru, which I'm not in any way, but that's like keep an eye on the forthcoming weather and look at the risk tokens as well.
Yeah, and it's so easy to forget. Because I think it's hard enough to work out where you can move to with the cards you've got, that you then forget, oh, hang on, I might actually die.
So with the risk tokens, do you get to pick them if you do get them?
What do you mean? You'd usually get the chance to pick one of them. Everyone would generally pick the lowest. Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know whether that let me... I think it just chose the lowest one for me.
Yeah, it generally does, because you generally don't want to pick a high risk token.
Yeah.
Because, it's burning either movement or acclimatization points.
I guess if you have a really good hand of cards or something, you might want to take the risk, high risk now, to give you a chance to then get the lower on the next turn. I don't know why you would. So yeah, it seems to have just chosen it for you, Tom, or did you get a chance to choose it? Because you got the risk token this time.
The fact is, when it's a 0, like there, you can afford to just barrel along.
I think I might be a bit more cautious this time. And there he is again.
Oh,
Tom's back.
Oh no, I forgot to move my guy. So
Oh.
I've just wasted some of my cards. Oh well.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? That has confused me as well. So I can move there. Oh, no. I want to select that one. And then I can play this on squiggly to move there. There we go. Okay, so now we've got the bad weather between 7 and 8,000, so it doesn't affect us at the moment. So maybe it's time to push on. Okay. Everyone's going for movement. And I guess you got the different routes there as well, potentially for a high up player game or maybe even lower player game where you can block each other off. So I want to play that on smooth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, revert cards. Didn't want to play that on smooth. I wanted to play on that on smooth. I think, is that right?
Ooh, running the gauntlet.
Oh no, there's. Oh no, I did. Oh right, okay. I can play some more on smooth, can't I? So I'm going to play that on smooth. There we go. No, I did need to move past it. And then it's a bit of a waste, but I can then play this on squiggly to follow up. Okay. And then we've got the 2 risk token, which again I completely ignored.
Yep.
And that is smooth. There we go. Wow.
I did wonder if that was going to be your move. I was like, ooh,
Bold.
Already made my first mistake. I've got quite a few people watching. Hello everyone who's joined. I hope you're enjoying this. If you've played K2 before, let us know. If not, as well. So, I now need to think. Right, weather-wise, it's looking okay. Tomorrow, today is okay. And day after, it's looking not quite so good. So I might want to take that card and that card. And then that card, yeah, I think I got it right this time. This is where everyone just doesn't move, so I get the high risk tokens. Oh, Tom got them this time.
Yeah.
So, as I was saying, I'm going to play these 2 on smooth, which means I can move up there and get some health. And then I can play this one on squiggle. Oh, I can't, because it's already full. I'd have to go around. Can I play this one on smooth in that case? Yeah, I can go higher. Okay, let's do that then.
Tom, I like you going for the blocking strategy straight away.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Cutthroat, to say the least.
Yeah. If you can't get up the mountain, nobody can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So at least we know we can move past people, though. Tom joins us at the top there. It's quite nice. It sort of mimics the idea that if you stay further down, you can acclimatize much better and then make a push a bit later. Accumulate the points. Okay. Choices.
Bearing in mind tomorrow's weather.
Yeah. So if I play... Yeah, I'm going to try that. Obviously, if people have kept an eye on the cards I've played, they know what I've got left. I wonder whether anyone does that in K2. Probably do. There's probably card counters.
Possibly.
Who know? Yeah, so tomorrow is anything above 6,000. You lose 2 health. Okay, so I'm going to give Smooth a bit of health there. I'm going to use my movement on Squiggly to move up to there. Okay, so today is the health loss. So, decisions. I can do that, and I can do that. Okay, let's try that. Trying different things. Yeah, I thought I might get the risk token. So, can I move that one there and then take one off the risk? And then I can play that one. Oh, hang on. You must choose pitch a 10, subtract the risk, subtracting the risk. I've already done that. Okay, end my turn. And then I can play this on smooth to give smooth some more health. And I'm going to give Squiggly the risk token. So smooth is in good condition. Currently Tom is in the lead point-wise. And these are the last 3 cards from our hand to play. So otherwise we're okay today, and then tomorrow anything above 8,000 is going to affect anyone, but no one is that high yet, so we seem to be alright. So I'm going to do this, play them on Squiggly. So Squiggly move up. I didn't get a risk token.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks like Jamie is also prepping one of the climbers.
I realized I'd saved all my high movement cards for the unintentional until the end, and I was like, oh, well, might as well make a big
push. Yeah.
Big push. Uh-oh.
Let's see then. What can we do here? So today we're okay. Tomorrow anything above 7,000. And then it's nice weather. So I think I know what I'm going to do. Different strategy this time. Do not kill climbers. I should have tried that the first few games. Both red and green have still got their climbers a bit further down. Tom and Jamie. Whereas I've pushed into the 6,000 to 7,000 range. Okay, didn't get the wrist token, which is nice. So I guess the different routes obviously are different difficulties. So again, that's something I guess you need to sort of learn in the game. So I'm going to play this on Squiggly to go up there. And then might give him some health as well. And there we go. Okay. So weather above 7,000 isn't looking good for today. Tomorrow we're better. And then the day after, it's not good on the mountain at all. So the question is, do we push or don't we? I think I know what I'm doing. As I say, my main priority is to keep those climbers alive this time. But I get the wrist token. So yeah, so even though there's a draw between... Oh no, it's not. Sorry, I was looking at my hand. No, ignore me. So yeah, I had the highest movement. The highest upward movement. So I can move... Let's move a bit high up. And then I can give some health to Squiggly, I think. And then Squiggly can get the risk. There we go.
On the winter board, the weather also affects movement penalties, and you get higher movement penalties some days.
Ah, okay.
So it becomes much more of a dangerous uphill slog.
Yeah. So at the moment, the movement penalties are always 0. Gotcha. Okay. What to choose?
Yeah, we're about halfway through, and we're all sitting on the same score, which is nice.
Yeah, a bit different. So weather's getting bad tomorrow, and then the higher you get the days after, it's not so good, but it's only -1. So we could try and do this, I think. Okay, so my plan is to move Squiggly up higher and then pitch a tent there to neutralize some of that negative health. I've got 6 cards still in my deck by the looks of it, my draw pile. But I have no idea what they are. Now, some of the tips were to basically keep track of what cards you start with and then basically take out the ones that you've played so you know what you've got left, but I haven't done that. At least I didn't get the risk token. Health-wise, you're all pretty equal as well. Thomas pushing for the peak there. Okay, so today the weather is bad everywhere, really. So I could do that and that, I'm wondering. Hang on, or could I do something else? So that's... Yeah, I think I can do that actually. We'll see if that makes any difference. This is where your health goes down. Oh, no risk tokens. I think, yeah, we're even. So Tom and I have the same upward movement, so there's no risk taken.
Wow. That's the push. I didn't even see that. I was like, wow, that's a push and a half. I'm like, I'm slowly making my way up. Everything's going to be fine. You guys are like, out of the way.
Yeah.
Vroom, here I come.
I want to see the peak.
Oh, what? No. Does this work?
So you move
How much
3.
do tents cost again?
They cost the movement space of... It
Yeah, so you
costs
should
where
be
you
able
are
to-
right now. It costs 3.
So you should be able to move up for 3 and then pay the other 3 to... Yeah, that's it. So sitting on the top of the mountain. Nice.
If he didn't, he was going to die, so it was...
This is my house.
Yeah.
Go away.
I like that.
I don't think he's going to survive up there for very long.
That's the thing. This is where you need to try and move past people. Okay. Pitching a tent there makes sense. So, a similar bit like what Tom did. I should be able to move up to here and then pitch a tent there as well. So, I'm not quite...
That was not the hand I was hoping for.
So now the weather is really bad above 7,000. It's moving up the mountain basically.
I really need...
Well, not really bad, it's only -1.
I really need some...
So I know what I'm going to do with that one. And... Oh...
I really need some acclimatization.
Dagnammit. I'm going to do that, I think.
I assume the movement penalties apply for coming down as well as going up.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is how much it is to enter the space.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's going to work. We'll see in a minute. Might have been a waste of my cards. So I got movement of 2. I tried to avoid the risk token, but I should have gone for it really. I'm finally keeping a look at the health of my climbers as well. No, pitching the tents now. Yeah, looking good point-wise. We're about the same sort of scores. So yeah, health-wise, I need to play this card on smooth to get him up to 4. And then the movement, I basically don't really want to use for anything. I don't have the risk token, so I just, yeah, confirm that I'm not playing my cards. Bit of a waste. But it's sort of hedged against sort of risk tokens. But the risk token was 0 anyway, so I don't know why. Why I didn't just go for it. Now Tom's health isn't looking too healthy.
No.
Someone needs to climb down, I think. But even then, it's.
Oh no, he's dead. Whatever happens, unfortunately.
Oh no!
You can't climb down far enough because you can move the the card that's just 2 that is basically up and down, so you can use it.
Oh no, absolutely, but I can only move 8 movements worth.
You should be able to move down 3, 6.
No, but also the fact he's on 1 acclimatization point.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So yeah.
So I was always going to lose 2
True.
from
the
weather and whatever level I could get to.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
So you can't move all the way down to the 0 space, and even then you.
No, I can't get to below 7,000 feet in 1 move, unfortunately. So
you haven't got your parachute then. You can't just jump off. Isn't
no,
it a zip line or something?
Bring my paraglider, unfortunately.
I think I should speak to Rebel. Maybe they. I can't remember if they're owned by Asmodee now or not. To speak to them and go, guys, have you thought about?
Yeah. Can we have a zip line down K2?
Yeah, a zip line or a parachute. Guys, this expansion.
Yeah.
Don't say no straight away.
Right. So now the weather is only bad really at the top. So I'm thinking about moving. This is tough decisions because I don't know what I'm going to get on my next turn. So I'm going to play that. Am I? No, I'm going to wait. I can just discard all these, can't I, basically? Yes, again, waste of a hand. But at least we get the full hand on our next turn.
Right. It's a shame they don't have little kind of gravestones at the peak for your fallen climbers.
You pitched your tent there. It's close enough to a gravestone.
Yeah, exactly.
Died freezing in his tent. Honestly, my cards are kind of rubbish. It's probably not a great move. I'm just going to
pass.
Get rid of them. That's just my turnover.
Same here. Yeah, that's what I did. Just get rid of them. Okay, now this is looking a bit more promising. The question though is, now the weather's looking really good for the next few days, so this might be the time to push. We shall see. Be Tom's go, and then Jamie's, and then mine. So depends on what Jamie does as to what I can do. So here we go, locked in. Oh, I think I might be right.
It's going for it. It's going for it.
Tom's climber's going up. Yeah.
Big time play.
Yeah, no, that would be bad. So if I do that, no, I have enough points.
So you might not want to move all that way, but pitch a tent further down, maybe. Oh, you can't because there's two already on there. Okay. Mm. Maybe just pitch a tent there then. I know you got 3, 2. Yeah, you haven't got enough points to pitch a tent up there.
Question is, do you think the squiggly guy has heard about Smooth's death at the top of the mountain?
Coming to rescue him, do you think? He might
I
still
haven't
be
heard
alive.
from him. I haven't heard from him. I'm gonna go up and find and make sure he's okay.
Yeah. I've got my oxygen tank with me. That might help.
Sure. He's just a little breathless. He's still good. He's still good.
Yeah. I can see the tent up there. He's going to be all right.
So you can lose movement, can't you, to negate risk? How does that work?
Yeah.
So, if
go
you
on.
click on it, and it, for example, if you're playing it on Squiggly, it'll then say at the top, subtract risk. It should. -1.
Yeah.
Oh,
check.
yeah, there we go.
there
That
you go.
worked. That's fine.
She's surviving another round and hoping for a better hand. Let's see what Jamie's doing.
He's just going to get a kip in his mate's tent.
Yeah.
There's nothing macabre about that at all. Can
Not
he
at
pinch his own so he's got a double tent situation at the peak?
So I think I'm going to play all of these on a smoothie and move all the way up there.
Oof. Oh, just when I needed it. And I'm first player as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it good or bad?
Both.
Ah. Right, so I need that for sure. And I think I need that and that, actually. There we go. I'm locked and loaded.
Sorry.
Bless you. All right, Jamie, what have you got? Oh, lots of movement.
Lots of movement.
Ooh.
But
Lots of risky movement, no less.
it was only a 4 compared to 3 and 0. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'll be fine. Oh.
Yeah, not quite.
Who is that? That's okay, that's him. So I'm doing this.
So there we go. I think I'm just going to give Smooth some more health.
I need help. Oh, actually, as long as Squiggly doesn't really move, right
You're
now
right.
he's okay.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he's going to die a horrible, horrible death.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Leave him there for now and hope for a better hand. Or
Nope.
maybe not. So, help me with one thing then, Jamie. Is if I was going to move to the top with one
Yes.
card and then down again with the next, would that still count?
But yep, you can absolutely does.
But would I get the 10 points, or would I have to basically wait one turn up there?
No, so by getting to the top at any time, you've got the 10 points. If you then choose in the next play of your card to go back down, you still count as having got there.
Okay.
It's basically like putting a finger on the top, going, I'm there, and then running away.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's give that a go because weather's good enough. And I should be able to do this. We'll see. This is the theory. So I'm going to play a 3 on smooth to go to the top. And I'm going to play the down cards, a 3 and a 2 on smooth to go back down again. And there we go. He's just going, hey, seen it? Photo, gone. I'll post it on Instagram later. And then just need to make sure he survives. That's the only other thing.
Oh my lord! You are playing with ice in this case rather than fire, but still.
So we've got 2 more rounds. So the weather at the moment is not good between 6,000 and 7,000, which I don't think affects any of us.
Nope.
And tomorrow it's okay, and then the day after it's again between 6 and 7. So staying high up if you've got a tent might be okay. I think that sort of decides. No, I haven't got the cards for it, I don't think. Yeah, see, this is where it's important to count your cards. So let's have a look at the points where I am on the right. Squiggly's got 5 points at the moment. The one above is 6 points. Now Jamie's got 16. Maybe I should just push it and see what happens. Oh, I've chosen 4 cards. That's not good. Oh, dagnammit. This is where the movement runs out. So I can do that, but then I can't do that. So maybe I'll just do this. Yeah, there we go. So my thinking is I might be able to move up with Squiggly and then leave Smooth there, but give him a bit of health. Yay! So Tom Squiggly found his friend dead in the tent, frozen. He's now going to eat all the chocolate bars that Smooth left behind.
All of them. Every single one.
So is Squiggly actually in that tent now? Because it doesn't look like it on screen.
He is in the tent.
Okay.
Oh, and yeah, I'm not using that because.
So let's see if you can play this on Squiggly to move up to there. And then a bit of health to Smoothie. Yeah, and then it's all movement for me now. So we've got 2 more days. So I think that'll be that. And I haven't got enough health to do anything else, I don't think. So there we go. Okay. So what happens in ties then, do we know?
Can't remember.
Okay.
Think
So
it's
look,
whoever
I'm
got the
gonna find it.
highest.
So end of game.
And if it's still a draw, then no idea.
Oh, it's whoever's climber reached the peak first.
Right.
In the case of ties. Lovely. There we go. So Jamie's moving on up or moving on down?
Honestly, moving on down. I'll take those 16 points.
Yeah. I think that is very wise. Same here. So play that on Smooth to move down. And there's on Squiggly to move down there.
Thing is, just realizing it, he can't get below 6,000 feet next turn.
Oh. Penalties.
So this will be fun.
Now. So what is it? Oh, I see. Yeah. 2, 3. Doesn't really matter.
Oh no.
I might as well stay where I am. Because if I move down into the 6 to 7 range, then that's no good. So yeah, I'm just going to stick it out in the tents. I have a feeling I might still die though, I'm not quite sure. So the same problem for Jamie not being able to get out of the weather.
Well done.
I win! Wow. That was close. So I get my first victory apparently. Thank you, Board Game Arena. So there we go. It's a draw, but I win on being the first on the peak. That was close. That was very
I'm still
close.
confused as to how Squiggly on my side didn't die.
Yeah.
Just because you sat there at the top, and because for the last couple of days there was nothing above 8,000 feet that caused extra acclimatization loss. So you were just losing 1 a turn slowly, as long as you kept topping it up.
Yeah, I know. I thought the last turn of weather affected the peak, but it must not have done.
No. If you look at the bar, it's only 6,000 to 7,000 feet.
Yeah, so you can sort of sit above the weather sometimes and enjoy sunshine at the top, while further down it's not so good. So yeah, I felt I've now played 3 times fully, and it's sinking in, but it does take quite a few plays to really feel like you know what you're doing, I think. And even then, I'm still, as I forgot about the risk tokens and all that sort of stuff. How did you find it, Tom?
Yeah, it was good fun actually. It's it's one of those nice games that fit in. Like, I don't know how long it was taking per game, but like I feel like it's probably half an hour, 40 minutes. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's now we're 1:45, so I think we're about like 45 minutes ish per game, 40 minutes. I don't know, something around that time. So it's a good length, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said, I think, for games that don't kind of take too long necessarily. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love a good 4 or 5 hour epic, but also sometimes,
Yeah.
There's always a time and a place for them.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And 40-minute games are perfect because, I find often with the majority of modern board games, we kind of get to that point in the evening and we don't really have enough time to play it twice, but you've still got like an hour left, and something like that's great for that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. It's these sort of length games, and it's also gives you enough sort of things to think about. This game I quite like, and the strategies that will develop once you played a few more times. That so the blocking strategies and sitting at the top and all those sort of things. Do you leave one climber near the base camp before you move up, or do you move them both up together, and all that sort of stuff? And learning, I guess, also the deck of cards. Getting a feel for that and realizing where you are and how much you've got left and all that. So Jamie, you've played it quite a few times now, haven't you? How did you find it?
I'm not going to lie, this is probably one of my favorite games.
And you chose it for the stream as well.
I made it. Yes, you asked for a couple of games and I went, oh, what about K2? And you were like, sure.
Yeah.
I enjoy the strategy. No matter how many times I play it, I'm still always going, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm panicking to several degrees because generally I will fail to take into account the weather sometimes, or risk everything on that last big push up to the summit.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy this tension that is evident in the game.
I quite like the 2-player element as well, because there's definitely like a strategy to having your second climber supporting the first one with tents and stuff, so they can make it back down from the summit in one piece. And it's a kind of game where I definitely don't want to count my cards to know what's coming up, because I quite enjoy the risk of like pushing and being like, oh, will I get enough, enough for acclimatization next round or not? Like,
I was going to say, Jamie, did you ever come across any players who do sort of keep account of the cards in their head, or?
I mean, some people, yeah. But again, that's fine, since they know what they're going to play, so they play very differently, very a bit more tactically.
Yeah.
But that's also comes with just knowledge of the game. I mean, look at how we played. I mean, the first game, was a little bit. We were still kind of finding our feet, and then the second game, you could see everyone was slightly slower advance.
Yeah.
More people there was more blocking going on, and tactical play is like, oh, I could go here, but then that's a nice blocking move.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's good. As I say, it's probably sort of game I think we would enjoy in the games group as well, Tom. You think, Dave might want to play it?
Yeah, definitely. I think, I could easily see Dave and John quite enjoying it.
So maybe something to add to my wish list. And then we'll play it online, Board Game Arena. Maybe I'll suggest that tomorrow night, actually. We can have a look and try it out.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, I think, we're coming up to 1:45 now. I think we probably should finish the stream for today. Thanks for everyone who's been in the stream. Thanks for Shrimp again to joining in with the chat and saying hello and asking questions. That was very useful, very much fun. And of course, thanks to Tom again. Thanks for joining us.
That's all right. Thanks for having me, as always.
My pleasure. And thanks to Jamie.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, as I said, I've got 2 more Mondays that I can stream, and then we'll see what happens. So maybe Tom and Jamie will do something in next Monday if you guys are around.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be around.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so that was all. Thanks, as I said, to everyone. And we'll see you again soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.